another edition of Brandon Replay. My name is Greg Norman, your host. We are in week 3 with Brandon Replay. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show. Brandon Makrovich is on assignment this week. We'll be back next week. This week we had a chance to sit down and talk with Brandon football coach Brad Zuby about a big win over Flint Southwestern. The Blackhawks go on the road for the first time this week, go travel to Lake Fenton for the first Flint Metro League game. Brad talks a little bit about the offense and defense and scoring lots of points. This week might be an interesting game. Lake Fenton, I think, is a little more of an opponent than what they've played in the first couple of weeks, but we'll see. We certainly wish them the best of luck. We also checked in with tennis coach Andrew Ackner, a little bit about what's going on with the Blackhawks and a couple of the players. We also talked to Eric Donders, the cross-country coach. He's going to explain to us what's going on in the early part. Cross-country really gets going towards the end of September into October. We'll have that conversation. A chance to talk to a couple of athletes. Brandon golfer, Leah LaFleur, talked to her a little bit about the season. Girls golf is getting close to regionals, kind of the middle of September. This is kind of one of the first sports that'll probably finish up for the fall season. Talked to her. And we talked a little bit about to Emma Lucy about Brandon volleyball. So I think we've got a pretty good show. We're going to cover golf pretty good today. You'll get a chance to see some of that footage over at Goodrich Country Club. So we'll be back in a second, and we appreciate you watching.
We're talking with Brad Zuby in week 3 of the high school football season. Brad's the head coach at Brandon High School, football coach. And Brad, you're coming off a second win, headed to Lake Fenton this coming week. Let's talk a little bit about the game first. I've made comment from last week after we had talked about the game. You'd mentioned they had a number of players that were pretty sharp. I mentioned that you could lose, you could win big, you could lose big. It was just hard to fathom. And I was giving Southwestern credit based on maybe what it was the old Saginaw Valley days. They're a far cry from what was, but at the same time, you guys played great.
Yeah, I mean, they're young, and talking to Coach Weathers, they didn't play last year. Flint canceled their sports last year due to COVID. And I think, when I counted up the roster and who was playing going into the game, they had about the same number of upperclassmen, juniors and seniors starting as we did on both sides of the ball. But, they had missed a year of development where we had a pretty good year of development last year. And then they did have some young guys up front on the offensive line, and that could be a tall order against a veteran team. But they have some nice players, and but our boys, it was kind of a flat start to the game. We had an early turnover, and it was a little bit odd too. Some of the things as just as far as matchups went on some of the things we saw that we weren't really looking at. But the boys answered the bell and they played the way we wanted them to. And what I liked most about the game is we had 8 different ball carriers. We had 8 different receivers. We had 6 different kids score touchdowns. Everybody got to play. Everybody got some meaningful reps. Trying to build meaningful depth was our plan going into that game.
Now, your quarterback, Micah Miller, am I right on the name?
Yeah. Yeah.
We interviewed him last week. He played quite a bit. I noticed that you put your freshman quarterback in. Looked like he got banged up a little bit. So when you get a freshman like that, I guess you got to obviously protect his all of the injury stuff. But what happened in that situation?
Yeah, so he made an interception. He's our starting safety as a 9th grader, but he's our number 2 quarterback. And he got tackled making the interception, and I think in his he kind of sprained his thumb, and he went in. He played a series of quarterback, but kind of re-injured it on one of the plays he got tackled on. And one of the things now is we obviously have to yield to the trainer, and the trainer had looked at the thumb and iced him up and taped him up and said, hey, you can't go. So at that point, we had to put Micah back in and just kind of play smart and deliver the ball out to the skill kids and not put them in harm's way and just get out of there.
Defensively, you guys look pretty solid. I don't think you had a real breakdown of any kind. Not that there was.
Yeah, we gave up one pass late in the game. And those things happen. But we played a very aggressive game plan. We wanted to get after them, and they had some trouble. Once we started bringing the pressure, they had some trouble snapping the football and getting plays off. And we were just, when you play a team that's very athletic like that and has some guys, you want to kind of beat them to the punch a little bit. So that was our game plan. And the guys did a good job of that.
You've had a very reliable kicker. It looks like maybe second half, there was a little bit, kind of went awry. I think you had 3 or 4 extra points.
Yeah. He was 7 for 7 a week ago. And this week he was a little bit, a little bit shaky. But again, we didn't have our normal holder, and we had a different kid holding. And I think, that affects your timing and your rhythm a little bit when you don't have your normal holder in there with you. But to his credit, he's been out every day this week, on time, early, getting a ton of kicks in every day. So I think he realizes, the importance of those kicks. And, he's been out correcting a lot of that stuff all week and putting in the time.
What was the biggest correction from week 1 to week 2?
Honestly, just, for us, it's just, I don't think it's a correction standpoint. It's just continuing. We have a very thin roster. We're carrying about 28 to 30 guys right now, and we're just trying to do our very best to keep things moving and get depth going. And Coach Schultz did a great job with our offensive skill rotation and just getting kids in early. Our starting fullback, Gavin Greil, had, 200 and last week we only gave him the ball 3 or 4 times, and we were, it wasn't, intentional not give him the ball, but it was intentional to get other kids early reps with the ones and rotate around. Like I said, I think we had
You froze, Brett.
orchestrated rotation.
You froze there. Give me the last 30 seconds.
Sorry, I froze on you. Okay. No, just saying how, last week, wasn't really a correction issue, but we wanted to just try to build some depth and get kids meaningful reps with the starters and get guys, who haven't had a ton of action this year, early reps instead of just closing out games reps. So, I was saying our starting fullback, Gavin Greil, who had, I think 15 carries for 247 in week 1, only carried the ball a couple times, but he had a couple catches for 2 touchdowns. But we were very calculated in getting kids early reps and just trying to see what kids can do with the ones in real game situation. That's what we wanted to see.
When you're up like that, do you use game situations to put in sort of predicaments that it's a tie game? Do you work on things in games when you have some opportunities to be ahead?
Yeah, we wanted to. We had the field goal team hot and ready to go on the sideline if we needed them, things like that. We're always looking at scenarios at the end of the game there. We're trying, we're not trying to score, but we're trying to get kids some playing time that need it and get them some reps. And the kid ends up scoring on the last, towards the end of the game. And it's not always intentional, but these kids are working really hard too and deserve the reps. But yeah, we're always looking at situations on, down and distance things and what we want to try to pull off and ideas for down the road, get things on film, look at them.
We're talking to you on Tuesday night. The season opens, the Metro League season opens up back on Friday. So my 2 questions. First, you like playing on Friday better than Thursday? And I understand the calendar is what it is before the season starts. But does Friday seem like more like it's high school football for you than Thursday night?
Yeah, Friday gets us back into our normal routine too. Friday puts us back where, on Thursdays you got Friday, which ends up kind of being a dead day. And then you got to come in Sunday, and the kids don't always like practicing Sunday, but you got to do it. And, now we can kind of put that behind us and get back into our installation day on Monday and our game plan Tuesday, Wednesday, our pregame Thursday, play Friday, have some film over the weekend as needed, but gets us more into our normal routine. So yes, Fridays, we want to play Fridays, but the Thursdays before school starts, it's not the worst thing in the world either.
2 games at home, you're going on the road. What do you change? Anything changes in practice because you are going on the road?
Nothing practice wise. Lake Fenton's got a beautiful facility over there. They're a turf stadium like we are. So not a whole lot practice wise has to change. Our Friday routine gets bumped up. Everything gets bumped up a little bit, which can, change your approach a little bit on Friday, just making sure everything's wrapped up and ready to go early as far as walkthroughs and bus schedules and things like that. But no, nothing out of the ordinary.
As a 50-year graduate of Fenton High School, and I say that 50 years ago, Lake Fenton was always its little sister. Looks like Lake Fenton's kind of growing up a little bit. They're no longer on the lake. They're not in the old school. They've got a brand new school over the last, I think maybe 8-9 years ago, they built a new school. So talk about Lake Fenton this week and any thoughts on the matchup.
Yeah. So Marty Borski over there is our head coach, and this is his second stint there. And he's a very good football coach. He has his kids playing well this year. They really respect him. He's a player's coach. Like, I try to be a player's coach myself where the kids, respond to his coaching, and they are 2-0 right now. I believe it's Lake Fenton and it's Ortonville Brandon on either side of the Flint Metro. We're the only 2 teams that are 2-0 across, the 12 schools right now. So there's a lot on the line. They are playing very good football. And we trying to tell our kids that, everybody in this league is going to give us their very best game. We've only lost one league game, since this new configuration of the kind of A division to B division. And they are one of the teams I circled after last season as an up and coming team that's going to give us everything we can handle. And they've proven that with 2 nice wins early in the season themselves over Gaylord and Schwartz Creek. And they've got some dudes on their team that get after it on both sides of the ball. So we will be in for what I think is our most difficult game up until this point, for sure.
What do they run defensively? Just give us a brief scouting report of defensive part of Lake.
Yeah, they're a little bit of a multiple team like we are. They'll bounce in and out of some different things. It's hard to pin down exactly what we're going to see from them. They'll give us a few different looks. Teams, it's hard to tell too on film because they've played 2 teams that are, double tight, power type football teams versus us where, we have a lot of motion and it forces the safeties to move around a little bit. And teams tend to play us different than they do most teams we see on film just because we're a little bit of a different animal ourselves. So it's tough to pinpoint exactly what we'll see, but we got a pretty good idea. Offensively, they're a spread team. They like to get it out into space. They run a lot of counter tray with their tailback, who's a pretty explosive kid, and their quarterback is a good scrambler and a good passer. He's a 3-year starter, just like our kid is. So he's got some chops on him. He's showing a lot of command this year. So I think they'll give us, like I said, the best game we've seen to this point. And they are hungry to beat us. So we have to be prepared for that mentally and physically.
From a high school standpoint, 7-on-7 summer ball really became popular maybe 15 years ago, where it became a mainstream that everybody participated. Was the advent of where passing has come in Michigan. The West Coast, they always, Florida down south, they threw the ball all the time. They've been doing that for 50 years.
Yeah.
We seem to have a lot of spread teams. Was that the 7-on-7 have a lot to do with that?
Oh, I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, I really get, I get pretty bored of 7-on-7. So, but yeah, I think, a lot of that stuff that works in 7-on-7 doesn't work as well when you've got, 2 linebackers blitzing in your face, and all of a sudden it's not, as cozy and warm as it was a second ago in that 7-on-7 pocket. So, but yeah, I think, I'm certain that a lot of that 7-on-7 has led to teams wanting to do that in open space on the field, but it's not always as easily executed when we're allowed to hit you.
No, but it gives them the opportunity to at least practice passing. I mean, that's something that typically didn't happen.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely gives you time to develop your passing game at a higher level. Absolutely. Okay.
So what do you have to do to beat Lake Fenton this week? What are the keys?
Just play fast, play aggressive, beat them to the punch. And, our team has to believe that this team can beat them, and they have to play up to the level of competition. I think it's going to be night and day from what we saw a week ago from a young team trying to get better to a veteran team that's 2-0 makes all the world difference. So our guys just got to fly around and get off the ball and play our football, do what we got to do. Worry about us.
Last question. The kids are back in school after a pandemic. Does being back in school help you as a teacher in the building? Does it change the atmosphere, or is it pretty much all the same?
Yeah, I mean, if we made it through last year, we can make it through anything. We at Brandon, we never missed a day last year, right? We were in the building every day. So this year with the kids, it's a continuation of last year, and we're just trying to play ball and keep it normal.
Brad, I appreciate the time, and good luck this week. We'll check back in with, and hopefully it's 3-0, and on the road to play the Blue Devils at Lake Fenton, and best of luck.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, buddy.
We all assume that gun owners have a knowledge about gun safety, but that's not always the case. There are simple precautions that gun owners can take to make sure that their firearms don't pose a danger for our community. Proper firearm storage is the #1 way to prevent tragic accidents. Use a gun lock or store your firearms in a locked safe. Gun safes are available at local retailers. Free gun locks are available at your police department. Through responsible storage, we can do our part to invest in safety. Lock it up, Oakland. Safe storage saves lives.
today with Leah LaFleur of the girls Brandon golf team. Leah, how many years have you been playing with the golf team now?
4 years. I'm a senior and I started when I was a freshman. So.
And you've enjoyed every year?
Yes.
What do you like about playing golf compared to more of like a team sports, like basketball or softball that I know you play?
I like it because, you know, if I perform well, then I do well. Instead of if I play well in a basketball team, I don't necessarily get to reap all the benefits. And it's so much nicer to be able to go and play by myself and be able to actually see myself improve and do well.
Do you think more people should try golf?
Yes, I think it's a lot of fun. It does take some money here and there, but it's really relaxing and I enjoy it a lot.
Do you think you want to continue playing into college?
Yes, I've actually gotten some scholarship offers. I think I'm looking at Madonna right now, which would be really nice. But yeah, so I'd love to play in college. I just want to keep getting better.
Wow, that's great. We'll cut this out. I'm going to see what my boss wants me to ask you. Where do you think Brandon will sit at the end of the season in the standings for golf?
I'd like to be in the middle, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Our first couple meets were really good. I think our first meet we both beat both of our teams, but like today we're not going to beat any of our teams, so I guess just do our best. But yeah, I'd like to be about.
Well, Leah, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and good luck with the season.
The boys varsity tennis coach Andrew Ackner. One of your team players, Ross, is on a 2-match win streak. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing great. He's hitting the ball really well. He's playing very smart tennis, very cerebral, and he's got a 2-match winning streak against Kearsley and Owasso.
Wow, that's very nice. As a whole, you actually did lose your last match. Are there any things you plan on improving on for your next one?
Yes, just technique, especially with the doubles players. We're just working on keeping the ball in play and letting the other team make mistakes.
All right. Good luck at your match today.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, talking today with Joey Norris of the Brandon boys tennis team. Joey, you've always been more of like a team sports player, like basketball and football. What made you want to get into tennis?
You know, I didn't have a fall sport to play, so I just decided to hop into tennis because I thought it'd be fun. So yeah.
Yeah. And you've been enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. The guys I'm playing with are pretty nice, and yeah, it's just a good sport.
And how many years have you been playing now?
This is my first year actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What'd you do to get ready for this year?
Not much really. I practiced for about a week, got right into it, and been picking it up pretty fast. So yeah.
All right. What's your favorite part of a tennis match?
I like just the sportsmanship. It's a pretty like sportsmanship game. You know, there's no trash talking. There's nothing like that, so it's pretty fun.
Would you recommend more people play tennis?
Yeah, we need guys. We have like 7 guys on the team, so we need more guys. It's fun. Anybody can play it, really.
Where do you think Brandon will end up at the end of the season in the standings?
You know, we don't have enough guys to win really right now. So, but we give it our all every day. So I don't really know where we're gonna be at, but we'll do pretty good.
All right. Well, Joey, best of luck going forward in the season, man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mental health disorders are serious and treatable conditions. Isolation, loneliness, and changes in behavior could be signs that someone you know is suffering from depression. Learn how to recognize when family or friends are in crisis and what you can do to help. Mental health does matter. Contact the Resource and Crisis Helpline with your concerns at 1-800-231-1127.
Hello, we're with Coach Donders, the cross-country coach here at Brandon High School. How was your guys' last meet?
Hot, but As far as competitive-wise, I think we did very well competitive-wise. Guys' team ended up being finishing 8th out of 28 teams, and the girls ended up finishing 7th out of 27 teams. So, you know, girls had a top 10 finish. Boys had 3 top 20 finishes, so we did pretty well. So.
Well, that's good. Did you have any star runners?
I wouldn't say star runners. I mean, our top 3 boys were Nick Schilling, Gavin Stamper, and Pete Moore. That's pretty much the way they finished the first meet. And our top 3 girls were Mallory Moore, Bella Hearns, and a freshman, Danielle St. James. So as far as that, we're starting to develop some consistency. So it's still early. That the first 2 meets are just trying to figure stuff out.
Do you have any goals for your next meet?
Hopefully, as far as boys-wise, it's our first Flint Metro League jamboree. It's at Linden Middle School. I'm hoping where our boys can finish about 6th out of 12 teams, and I'm looking at our girls probably to finish 7th or 8th out of 12 teams. So Flint Metro League is pretty competitive as far as cross country goes. So if we are in the top half of both boys and girls, we're going to be very competitive this year.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with Emma Losi, varsity volleyball player, number 30. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
You guys lost the first set and then were able to come back and win your next 3. How did you guys do that?
I think in the first set we kind of were not in our normal headspace. And we had a long talk with our coach and we kind of talked it out about what we had to do. And we definitely didn't go out as aggressive as we usually are, so we just kind of slowed it down, focused up, and got some kills.
That's so great. You did wonderful at the game. Are there any other players you'd like to shout out?
I think Elle played really good at that game. She got a majority of our kills. Pretty sure she was our top hitter. And she was killing it.
All right, thank you so much and good luck at your game tonight.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed Brandon Replay. We're hoping that the Blackhawks has some success on the road this week at Lake Fenton. We'll be back next week to cover all the sports. Griffin will be back next week, and hopefully we'll get back on our bet and see where we go. But for all the folks in back, we appreciate you watching, and until next time, go Blackhawks.